Rightio. Well, welcome everyone and welcome Heels to our first Northern Kings podcast. We thought we'd do this because we've got this brand new club, 7 teams from under 12s all the way through to the open men's and women's under 19s. And there's kids from North Queensland, Central Queensland, Darling Downs, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Northern New South Wales, Melbourne. So we don't know who they all are, and I'm sure all these people want to get to know each other as well. And they're all pumped. They've all been drafted and auctioned, and we've got our club now, but we've got this little gap between now and when we actually start playing cricket. So we thought it might be nice to get to meet a few people. My name's Dominic Ovenden. I've got Heels here with me, and we'll try and do this weekly over the next few months, hopefully leading up to the BPL. But Heels is a part owner. I'm a part owner. We've got 6 owners in the club, and we're quite excited as well. But I just thought I'd start off by asking Ian, what's your excitement around the BPL and why have you got involved?
Good evening, Dom. Hi, everyone. Let's hope that we do hook up very well and we engage extremely well before we do have to play, even if it is just online. What started me off, right? Well, Mark Nicholas from England rang me and said, these guys from South Africa, one of which I knew from when he lived in Sydney, have got a concept. They've been performing and executing for 10 years. I think you should have a look at it. And so I said, yeah, no worries. And why don't we get Mark Taylor and Shane Warne in Victoria on the next Zoom call? So I met the South African guys on Zoom with Mark Nicholas, and they really went to great lengths to explain it. And when you first hear it, it's a lot of work. You really do. Mm-hmm. You're drafting and auctioning teams. You're not sure whether players are going to nominate to play or not. And then how do you get to know them all? And then they started to talk about scouts and coaches through the whole region. And, you think, well, this is hard work. This is going to be very hard. Mm. So the first thing I did was get you, Dom. Dominic and I were great teammates, and he was wicketkeeper captain at Norths. Even when I was home several times from Australia or Queensland duties, and played second 11 for Queensland. So I knew we had cricket covered if I got you on board. And we're extremely lucky with the timing of you and your career, which had come to an end at Coca-Cola. 25 years with Coca-Cola. Wow. Well done. So you're on board now. We better start talking, and I better explain this thing to you. I bet it was daunting for you when you first heard it.
It's interesting, we both kicked this off in, say, November last year, but it's taken a long time for everyone to come on board, because it took us a while, and you can see it even now. It's not an easy thing to get your head around, because it's a totally new concept. It's innovative. It's exciting, and it takes a little bit of explaining to people, doesn't it? There's not too many have just gone, bang, yeah, I get it. A lot of them they want to know more, and they want to get their head around it before they actually jump in.
Yeah, when you talk to the right people and those that really have cricket at heart and want to continue doing good for cricket, they'll ask. They go, bang, bang, bang. Can we do this? What about this? What about this for an idea? And they're in. But as you said, I started probably more than a year ago. It wasn't just November, but we started officially working around November, I reckon. So it's been a wonderful trip, to get your head around this stuff. And because I'd had those pre-meetings with Mark Nicholas and the South African partners, I was quite ahead of everyone. So then it was my role to get out and sell these clubs. So we had to find 7 other owners that would take on a club. And then we had to educate them. We had to inform them and get their heads into it. And, it's been an incredible job done by Nick Fitzpatrick and Joel Hamilton to get that done. And knowing how far ahead they were and I was to be able to explain things that and we weren't totally on top of things at that stage. So yeah, well done to all those other buyers and teams of owners that have put their money on the line
Yeah.
to sort of invest into this cricket concept, which is going to be good for players.
Yeah.
And then, the things we liked, it was maybe 800, maybe a little bit more than 800 new playing opportunities for cricketers, and it's along the lines of the stuff we're all watching on TV, the Big Bash in Australia, the IPL from India, the modern twists of cricket. And there's three that spring to mind straight away. That's the auction. So it's no longer just okay to make runs and perform really well. Someone, you still mightn't get picked. So that's a new pressure in itself. So the auction's a new twist for juniors as well as amateur players in senior grades. I think then there's the drafts for the kids, the way the teams were selected. It's good. So we've probably had plenty of great players and good players miss out because, for example, the under 15s and 17s, they had 350 nominated players on the final list. And we only need 112 or 120 with an emergency list on top of that. So that's disappointing. We've had enough nominations to have two comps. Right? But we'll just get this up and running and try to stay out of way of traditional cricket. We just want to make it pre-season. Queensland suited so well to that, and have a lot of fun. The third thing is cricketers playing for owners, not necessarily for selections. And we hear that in the professional ranks, that's a real different pressure of playing for a person that's picked you. They want you and you don't want to let them down, and that's a new pressure. So here we go. We got our clubs that can try all that too. But the things you touched on stand out to me too. Statewide participants. If country players can get themselves down to Brisbane and southeast Queensland where it's going to be held, that's great. They're available to be not only to nominate but to get picked up, and we've got plenty. We went out of our way. You being a Gympie boy, me being a Central Queensland boy, we had the paddle up for a fair few country kids, as you said. We've got a Melbourne senior player too, haven't we, from Box Hill?
We have.
We picked him up pretty early. And then, other leagues of cricket. You've got the Brisbane Premier League, but then you've got heaps and heaps of leagues of community cricket around that. And we want to mix those leagues up and pick from all those leagues as well as all those nationalities. So I know we've got Indy Ranatunga, who is the nephew of Arjuna Ranatunga, who I had a run-in with in one-day international cricket. So he's playing for us at the Northern Kings. So we'll have some good fun. Maybe Arjuna would make it out here. You never know how things are travelling.
Yeah,
but
that'd be great.
I think not only just the spark of the cricketers and the nominated players, but their parents have loved it. They've really, really loved it. And then all their colleagues, lots of schools have sent us stories, that this is all that kids are talking about. So that's been a wonderful, wonderful recognition that we're doing something right.
Yeah. And, they're all going to be decked out in their Kings outfits. We've got these awesome looking yellow or gold, amber outfits they'll all be wearing. There'll be white balls and there'll be music and live streaming, all the fun things that we see on TV. We'll be trying to replicate that, and that's going to be fun, and it'll all be done and dusted before the cricket season kicks off. So all these people are going to get a good pre-season in and have a bit of fun and get to meet all these new people. They'll have new teammates playing alongside them they've never met before. No need for much training. We've got parents, in North Queensland really keen to get down and come down and get into it, which is awesome. So they'll all come down and put themselves up in a hotel for a week and watch their kids run around during the school holidays. So it's pretty exciting, and looking forward to it. We're just as excited as what the kids are and the players are, aren't we? And I guess the other thing we didn't touch on, we've got 7 really good coaches. We've been really fortunate to handpick 7 great coaches we think that we will rely on and are very comfortable just allowing them to do their bit. So we got in early, and I think we've actually got the pick of the coaches in the whole comp. If I'm probably a bit one-eyed or a bit biased there, but I think we've done really well with our coaching staff. So looking forward to seeing them work as well.
And for the parents and players, we don't want to overcoach. We don't want to overtrain. There's no trainings that are compulsory. So if you just can't make a training, a get-together day or a training session we might put on, the week before or whatever, or you're not down from the country yet, don't worry about it at all. It's not going to hold anyone back. It'll be a matter of just getting to know each other's faces, not worrying about what they're like at cricket. So don't feel bad about that. Those new coaches, new opponents, new teammates, and playing cricket in new zones of Brisbane and Southeast Queensland is quite exciting too. And the support we're going to give you to make this amateur competition look like a professional one, if it hasn't already been like that, you wait to see the games, has been incredible to learn from South Africa. They've just finished their 11th year of this. And so they're the ones that have educated and told us how to do this, whether it be the draft or whether it be the auction or the nominations process or the online structures that we've needed, the uniform ordering. There's been a lot go into it. And, to Nick and Joel and Stuart Giles and Ziad and Frankie from South Africa, huge thank you. Hopefully one day you'll get out here. They're stuck over in South Africa.
Yeah.
Joel's in lockdown in Victoria. But anyway, we'll get this done, and it should be great fun without too much pressure.
Yeah. So what we're hoping to do, we'll talk to a few of our players all the way from our under 12s through the grades to our girls team, and also the guys up in the men's and under 19. So over the next few weeks, hopefully we'll get to meet a few of these people, some of who we have met through the auction and the draft, others we have never met before. So they've all got great stories, I'm sure, and we'd love to get to chat to them. So we'll do that. Our first guest is coming up soon, who he was the very first player coach that we picked, and we'll be having a quick chat to him in a minute. So he might jump off here and we'll get Gode on in a tick, eh?
He's our local hero, that's for sure. So he's our first coach and our head coach, and he's been a gun player in Southeast Queensland and Queensland.
Now, I look forward to getting to know him a bit better. I've met him a few times and spoken to him, but looking forward to actually asking him a few questions and get to know him tonight.
And Dom, and to all our players, if you send an email or a phone call to Dominic, you've all got his details, and you want to do this, to introduce yourself, say good day, tell a story or two, let's do it.
Righto, Godes, welcome. Andrew Gode. It's Gode, isn't it?
Gode.
So for people out there in Kingsland, Andrew's our captain coach of our men's team and Valley's boy. And one of the first people we picked, as we touched on before, we got in early and got Godes because he's a bit of a legend around Brisbane cricket in both forms of cricket, but particularly in recent years, I guess, the shorter form. So we thought he's a great role model and a good captain coach for us with a young crew. So welcome, Godes. Heels and I just had a quick catch up and talked a little bit about BPL, but we don't know a lot about you. You're a Valleys boy. We're from North, on the right side of the river, but different side of town. And we'd like to get to know a bit more about you. So I believe you're captain at Valleys, or you have been for the last 7 or 8 years, but can you tell us?
Yeah, I have been. I captained young. I had half a season captaining when I was 19, and I was too young to do it, but we sort of lost a few people and stuff like that. So I captained young for half a year, and then I had 2 or 3 years off where we got a few older guys back. But I've been captaining there since I was probably 22, 23, and officially handed over the reins at the end of this year. So it's time for someone new, I think. So it's been a big part of my life, mate. So
yeah, what do you reckon, Godes, was your most memorable moment with Valleys?
Oh, I mean, the premierships, obviously, the 2-day one, we hadn't won one in a while. And we just sort of got on a bit of a run towards the back end of the year, and we had a red hot bowling attack. So we won a 2-day premiership. We won a couple of 2020s, which are great. One day flag, but the two day one, Heels, though, it's a long season, as you know. So it's to win one of them, it was pretty special.
And you had Jack Leach,
yes,
the famous number 11 England batsman that held out against
Yes.
Australia, a couple of years ago, playing for Valleys, eh?
Yes, when we were all pretty young, so we got up to a little bit of mischief together. Not too bad or anything like that, but no, Leachy came over when he was about 19 or 20, and like we could see something. We didn't know. Obviously, it would get to what it was now. Like he was still young, obviously, but we saw enough to know that he was going to be a good player. He was a great lad. We had him for a season. We've had a couple of great seasons. We had George Dockrell from Ireland as well, so. It's a good place to come over. Not a great place to bowl spin, but it's a good place to come over and visit anyway.
And Godes, I believe you're from the country. Is that right? You down Bow Desert Way initially?
Yes. Yeah. So I was Dad was in the bank, so we moved around a little bit as kids. So my first bit of cricket I actually played was in Longreach. So I from when I was 5, and they only had under 11s, so I played under 11s when I was 5, basically. So so. Excuse me. And then moved to Bow Desert when we were 8, or when I was 8, and just played Bow Desert up until I was sort of 15, and then just got to the point where I was playing Taverners for Bow Desert, and then driving up on a Saturday and playing under 18s for Valleys when I was sort of 14, 15. My uncle played 120 odd first grade games for Valleys. You probably played against him, Dom, and Heels too. So sort of a bit of a family connection, and they just got me there, and I haven't looked anywhere else, to be honest.
You're always going to Valleys, eh?
Always going to Valleys.
Yeah.
Now, what bank was your dad in?
He was the NAB originally, so he was agribusiness, and then when we got to Bow Desert, probably 3 or 4 years after we got there, he actually bought a Bank of Queensland franchise. So I had one in Bow Desert, one in Jimboomba, and he only just recently got out of it, so he's in semi-retirement, the old man. So
yeah, well, very similar story to me, mate. My dad was ANZ. We travelled around a bit, and that's how I spent my time in Billawheeler. And Dom, you weren't in the bank, your old man, mate, but you're at Gympie.
Yeah, my old man was a school principal, so we travelled every 3 years. We moved from. I went from Ipswich to Marlborough, which is an hour north of Rocky, and then up to Townsville, and then down to Gympie, and then Maryborough. So I think it sounds like we've all been travelling around, which was great. In those days, we played every sport there was, and we didn't have shoes much of the time. We ran around barefoot most of the time, and played rugby league and cricket mainly. But
come home when it's dark, sort of thing. Yeah,
we were pretty lucky, I think, in current climate especially. But okay, well, that's good. And so you played a little bit of cricket, Gode. What can you tell us about your highest sort of achievements in the game?
I played one game for the Bulls. It obviously didn't go as well as probably would have liked. But, the fact that I sort of did it at 28 was pretty unusual. And the fact that I grinded and grafted my way to get there, I'm really, really proud of that. I played a fair chunk of second 11, which is good. Would have liked to play a little bit more, but that's the way it goes. I was a decent junior. I did make rep sides, but I was never the best player in a lot of it. Like I always just sort of, batted 6 and bowled a bit sort of thing. And then it sort of took me till I was sort of, I don't know, probably 25, 26 to really sort of work out, how I should go about it. And that's different to a lot of people. But, like I said, I was lucky enough to play one game, and the fact that I probably earned it was probably special. It's not a lot of people get to do it at 28. So, that was pretty cool. So
tell all our club guys what was that highest score you hit in a T20, and where was it?
So I made 179 at Valleys against Ipswich. I got out with 2 balls to go. I think I faced 72 or 73 balls or something like that. So that was fun. It actually came, excuse me, that came the first weekend back after Christmas. I hadn't picked up a bat for about 3 weeks. So it was just literally watch the ball and then hit it, and then it seemed to work. So that worked out quite well. So
would have been a few lost balls down in the creek there.
Well, it was a shorter boundary on the other field side, so I got to hit him to the short side. So no, not too many on the long one.
Yeah, well, that's a good day.
Your future, Gode. So you're looking to get into this coaching caper a little bit more, aren't you? So you're excited about this, taking on the Northern Kings head coach position?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, actually. So it's a couple of months before I made my debut, I did my level 3 course, because I thought, I don't know if I'm going to play, so I like cricket. I love cricket. I love coaching. I love working with people. So I applied and was able to do my level 3 coaching in 2018, and it's something I'm looking to move into. Sort of, I'm pretty much done playing now. I'm playing a bit of white ball stuff for Valleys and stuff, but it's something I am looking forward to. And like, this is for me, like, this is right in my wheelhouse because, you know, I really like 2020 cricket. Like, I know it sort of gets a bit of a rap, but 2020 cricket, it's the form of cricket where it's sort of nearly back to the purest, because you it's what you do is you hit the cricket ball and you bowl the cricket ball, and that's what you do in 2020. So I'm really looking forward to it.
And Gode, you've got a team from all over the place. We got blokes from up in North Queensland and Central Queensland and Gold Coast, and you've got one of the boys is from down in Victoria in Melbourne, so Ox Hill, I think it is. That's pretty exciting. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's probably the thing I'm probably most excited about. It's just like, I guess, just working with different people and sort of like, just, you know, for me being, I guess, new to the coaching sort of thing, like just having an understanding of how lots of different people work. Like, so, you know, what I might do might be completely different to someone else, but that doesn't mean it's wrong, or it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean he's right. So, you know, trying to understand those different people. So having people who have played, you know, all different club teams, all different, you know, grades, different ages as well. Like, you know, I think Kelvin's sort of in his mid-30s, and we got some younger guys that are sort of 18, 19. So, like, I know, I think that's really, really good.
Different aspirations too, Gode. You know, this is an amateur comp that not everyone's trying to get to the top. You know, the highest priority is to play really naturally and have fun and get ready for your seasons. That's going to be so much fun for everyone.
I agree. And that's, we'll have a little yarn and probably over a beer before the season starts, but that's how I want to go about it as a coach. Like, obviously winning's fantastic. We all have to win, but you know, you want guys, I guess, you know, just enjoying themselves playing, because it's great, because not only, you know, meet a great bunch of blokes, you know, I've met most of these guys before. There's a few guys I haven't really had much to do with, but, you know, we can sit down, have a beer, talk a bit of cricket, and, you know, they might learn something from me. I'll probably learn something off them as well. But it's just good to be able to, I guess, blow out the cobwebs a little bit, have some fun. Like I said, there's not any pressure on, I don't feel. I'm just really looking forward to it, Heels.
Yeah, well, we'll put an appeal out now to any club members of the Northern Kings that want to introduce themselves on a podcast. You get an email to Dom, or a phone call, and leave a message if you don't get him, and you'll be on one of these podcasts in the next the weeks to come, and we'll get to know you, maybe your parents, and just get a sense of just how much fun you've had from the time you filmed your videos and sent them in, then through the draft, or when you're in the auction, how nervous you might have got, to what you're hoping to do when it comes time for competition, either in August for the 19s and the Opens, or in September school holidays for the others. So it's we're very much looking forward to it. We look forward to meeting all of you guys. This is a good little platform for you.
Yes.
And one of the biggest, most exciting things is we've actually got a club mascot, believe it or not, which has just been completed today. And it looks very similar to you, Gode. So
excellent. Flaming red hair.
We better run that. We better run that comp. We'll do a King's comp to get the name of it. We'll get a photo circulated, and then we'll have to come up with a name.
And we do need someone to wear it as well. So if you're really good at wearing a mascot suit, you can do back flips and front flips and whatever.
I was going to say, we need someone a bit more athletic than me, Dom, that's for sure.
No, but brothers or sisters, we'll have heaps of colleagues and siblings in your families that might be gymnastically inclined. They could be in the line suit.
Yeah. Well, I think great to have a quick chat, Gode, and I'm sure we'll see more of you through the season. But we wanted to start off with you, and we would love to, as Ian said, we'll get more and more people on here, and we'll have a bit of fun. And when we all catch up on the 18th of July for a bit of hit of golf and a bit of a laugh, we should know a few people in the room, and we'll recognise a few faces just from this podcast, hopefully. So it should be good fun.
Yeah, welcome, local hero.
Yeah, local hero. Thanks, Gode.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me, John. Like I said, really looking forward to it.
See you, everyone.
Hey, see you guys.